Well, hi. Today is Friday, February 21st, 2025. I'm Todd Studer, and this is Morning Coffee. Fear not, a warm-up is coming. We have one more cold day today, and then getting back above the freezing mark. And if you look ahead to next week, the forecast right now is saying Monday through Friday, we're expecting highs into mid to upper 50s. Wow, that is a fast turnaround after double digits below zero for a low for the past nearly a full week. So it's going to be a welcome change. Things are going to get a little sloppy out there with the amount of snow that we have on the ground. So just be patient. I'm sure that all the car washes are going to have very long lines as well. I have an exciting announcement to make. We have a brand new sponsor. GLI Insurance Group has joined us on Morning Coffee. That's Bryce Taylor, and he has an office just up the road a piece in Crescent, Iowa. You know, GLI Insurance Group is a locally and family-owned independent insurance group, been helping people find the best possible plan for them for over a decade. You know, Bryce is also the founder of a Facebook group called Council Bluffs Food Lovers. Chances are, if you are in the area, you are a member of that Facebook group. I know he has over 10,000 followers on there, and it's a really popular Facebook site. So if you haven't gone and followed that site yet, I highly recommend it. You're going to see food reviews all the time from local restaurants. Mostly it's about people singing praises to the different places they go and post some pictures. And I know that the restaurant owners post on there too, so you might even see some specials on there. Well, here's the exciting part about what's going on with GLI Insurance Group. They are partnering with us here on Morning Coffee, and we're going to start giving some love to these local restaurants. And Bryce and I and some other guests will be headed out and shooting a little video and just saying hi to some folks and also enjoying some great local food. So that's a feature coming up very, very soon here on Morning Coffee. And I hope that you will stay tuned and enjoy that. Should be coming within next week and a half or so. We should be able to get that going. Also, while you're online, jump over to justsuecreative.com. That's Sue Pitts, and she is the one that built my website, leshillsmedia.com. And she can also, along with website design, help you with search engine optimization, content creation, marketing, everything you need to take your company to the next level. You know, Sue has a real passion for small businesses, and she helps them thrive in a digital world. A great starting point is to go to her website, justsuecreative.com, schedule a free consultation. Coming up very shortly, we are going to learn a little more about video marketing with one of the best guys in the area that is doing this. His name is Kyle Ranney, and Kyle has a company called Slate Agency. He's done some great work, and you may have seen it out there already. If you took part in Good Neighbor Day with Lisa Roth and Bloomworks in Council Bluffs, you might remember a video that came out just before that. Yeah, that was Kyle. Kyle did that. It was a phenomenal video. So we're going to talk to Kyle, learn more about what goes into what he does and how it's so important to use video online to be able to promote your business. So that is on the way. Foxco Fabrication would love to hear from you if you need signs made. Maybe you just need some cups made or mugs and get those personalized with a laser etching. I've got some here. You've seen them. We've got the business cards that he does. Here, let me show you. This is actually the Foxco Fabrication card, and he also, this is what the back of it looks like. That's pretty dang cool. But go to foxcofab.com. They also can turn your truck into a flatbed truck, and he's one of the best welders around. So foxcofab.com is the website. And ThinkSpace IT would like to remind you that mistakes happen. By offering comprehensive cybersecurity training to your employees, you can ensure your team is prepared for every bump along the way. Let ThinkSpace IT help keep your employees and your data secure. Contact them to get started with solutions that will work best for your business. Learn all about it online at thinkspaceit.com. Joining us now on Morning Coffee is Kyle Ranney of Slate Agency. Kyle, I am jealous as all get out right now because I'm looking at what you have over there to be able to join me on here with. Your camera's a lot better than mine. Your microphone is really cool. All of this stuff because of what it is that you do. So you've got all of this equipment already. It's I got a little green stripe going down my back right now.
Yeah. I mean, don't feel too bad. I mean, I'm a professional company with professional tools in a niche area, and video happens to be that niche today. So I do setups like this for big news companies and PBS and things like that. So along with the tools, I also have the past experience to just kind of set something like this up for a simple podcast.
How in the heck did you get into this? I mean, was this passion of yours? Did it go back to when you were a kid, or is it something that you learned later after growing up?
So interestingly enough, and I don't really ever tell this story, but my grandpa used to film horse races, car races, motorcycle races, from before I was born.
Really?
And I remember going to races at like the Exarban track and some places that actually aren't around anymore. But he basically built this like scissor lift trailer. So you drive it in and you crank it and the trailer goes up 12 to 15 feet in the air. And then we'd film these races and then we'd go back to his house and he had a VCR editor. And a lot of people don't know what that is, but back in the day, you used to film on multiple cameras, and then your editor was basically a VCR deck that you put different video signals into, and then you'd play them all at once, and then you'd cut between them and write to a new tape, and then that new tape would be your final product. You know? So nowadays it's super easy. I can take millions of clips, sound things, and just put them together on the computer, hit export, and then easy said and done. But back in those old days, you just had to line it up. You had to make sure everything was in sync, and then you just kind of hit go, and you had like 3 options, and you're just kind of editing it there. But I really didn't do much with video after that until college. I worked overseas on a couple humanitarian medical trips, and people assumed that because I knew how to do live audio and sound, which is what I went to college for, that I knew how to use cameras, and that was kind of true. So they just kind of threw me in the ringer, and I really found like a need in the market when I was overseas working on an island, and a lot of people experience blindness on the island, and basically it was from malnourishment, and the solution was very simple. It was on their island. They had access to it. But the people didn't know what they needed to know to basically solve their problem. And so that's when I got the idea of businesses back home need to know that they can use video to get their message out there to solve serious problems. And, the problem for the islanders was that they culturally only eat green papaya, which doesn't have vitamin A. And they throw red papayas away. They feed it to animals. But red papayas have vitamin A and other things that, keep your eyes clean and healthy. And they just threw it away because they don't know. So part of our team experience on that island was doing surgeries, giving glasses to kids, and then also educating local leaders on just simple things like that. Like, hey, eat the red papaya once in a while, even though you guys don't like it as much as the green one.
Isn't it kind of strange, though, that and as you're talking about this, it's like you went there for a completely different reason. And then you learned things that and were kind of just thrown into it and said, okay, well, you need me to do this. And now suddenly this is your whole career. And you're, which it wasn't even the intention of the trip.
Yeah, it wasn't even my intention at all.
Yeah.
And so now I love working with small businesses doing the same thing. A lot of times people don't know you exist. They don't know what products you offer, or they may only think you do one thing when in fact you do multiple things. And a video can really just get that out there and really up your conversion, sales, all that kinds of stuff.
You have talked about it before in different places that we have been together that and it's not just on social media, it's also on your own website, that having a video on a landing page, it helps. It really can get your message across a lot better.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, just like we are here today, you get to see our faces, or the video, the audio aspect. There's the storytelling, there's the tone of voice. People hear your voice a lot, so they kind of trust you, and they know what to expect on the morning shows. And so video kind of just brings all those best things together, as far as what you can tell people, what you can show people, and then also it kind of puts you as an expert because you have put professional effort into making something that clearly communicates what you want to do. And it helps people connect that in their mind and decide to call you, buy your service, or engage with the community and raise money for nonprofits. I mean, videos really work for all sorts of things. So
We should probably mention, for those that don't know you, Kyle, that you're local to Council Bluffs. I mean, you're right here. You're doing all of this out of our community, but yet you've had projects that have taken you and like you said, doing stuff for PBS and things like that. So I find it fascinating that there's folks right here in our community that are doing all kinds of great work that is reaching out a lot farther than just what's happening in Council Bluffs.
yeah, I do like being local. So
Well, and also it gives you an opportunity to work with a lot of local people. I've seen your stuff out in a lot of places, different things that you've done. Elisa over at Bloomworks, there was I saw you put together something that she was able to release on her video, on her social media, promoting the big flower giveaway, and that video it caught fire. And I mean, I lost count. I mean, it was in the tens of thousands of views that it was getting. I don't know where it ended up, but that was monstrous. And it's not just the topic. There also has to be quality attached to it. And I thought the thing looked great. I mean, it was really done well.
yeah, I mean, we shot that ad, and it really was just an explainer. An explainer video. It just said, "Here's what time we'll open up. Here's the rules with the roses. Here's what you should do with the roses. Come down and get some roses." And I think, and I think it had 50,000 views, something like that. And it only had a couple $100 of ad spend behind it, done with one of our people I partner with down at Dillard Management. And they were really ambitious with they wanted to do double the roses they normally do.
Mm-hmm.
And they actually sold, well, they didn't sell, but they gave away those roses double the amount they normally do, like basically in the same amount of time.
Yeah, she was done by noon.
Faster.
I think
maybe even a little bit faster than previous years.
Yeah, it starts at 8 a.m. and she was done by noon, and gave away 20,000 roses, a dozen at a time. And that was, plus, I mean, we're kind of bragging on Elisa here, which there's nothing wrong with that, but it's, she's got it down. There has to be a system involved with all of that. I've seen other videos that you've done. Blake, real estate agent, you put together a real estate video for him that it created it wasn't just information there. It created an emotional response, I thought. I thought it did a tremendous job of showing what life could be like out there on that property that he was representing. And that's where the creative side really comes in with what you do.
Yeah. I mean, we did just like a general about Blake video for his realty presence. And I mean, a lot of people, when they search for a realtor, they just think you're some random guy. But Blake is someone who is exceptional in his company. I think he's like top 5%. By the way,
he is.
He sells more houses than anyone I know here locally. And it's a family business too for them. In his video, he talks about how like his grandfather did it and his dad did it. Now he's doing it. And then the why behind it too. It's not just, to make a sales commission or that, but you really enjoy placing families in a home and helping them along with their investment. And then something else we did for him too was I made an email video series for him. So anytime somebody gets on his contact list, hits contact on the website, gets referred, there's like 7 consistent videos that go out automatically. So he doesn't even have to do any work. These emails are going to go out. The videos cover topics from first-time homebuyer tips, why you need an inspection, what does that process look like. They're very informational and important for people who are doing real estate transactions to watch. And then another byproduct of that is that it keeps him front of mind over the next 2 weeks, while usually realtors are if one person's working with one realtor, well, they might be also talking to 3 or 4 others. And so the goal with that is to keep him right at the top of that inbox and solidify him as more of like an industry expert, maybe over some of the other competition.
So with this, it's not just the technical knowledge of putting a video together that you need. You also have to have some marketing knowledge and an understanding about how all of that works, because that's going to play right into how that video is produced and what kind of flow that video has.
Absolutely. And that's why I consider myself an agency. I'm working with other marketing agencies or just in-house marketing people on your team to come up with that strategy, but also to like help you get it where it needs to go. I see so many times people make all these videos and then they just don't have a plan. Things take too long. And then, maybe nothing happens for 6 months. The business pivots, the needs change, and then they just end up not even using the videos at all. Because, that video was made for that time, but things change. But I'm really here to help people get their videos out there quickly where they need to be, so that way they're actually working for you and executing. And I think some people that do what I do don't really help with that. They just kind of come in, make the video, and say, "Here you go," and then you're kind of like on your own. What's next? So.
Well, and part of it is also you need to be concise with your information. I mean, this is in this TikTok world that we live in now. If you are not being purposeful with what it is that you're saying, and you're just kind of rambling and trying to get so much information into one thing, it's not going to get the same kind of traction that it is if it's like when you're driving along and you see a billboard that has all of these words that are on it, and you're just driving past it. So I didn't read any of that. I couldn't see it. The most effective marketing in my mind that's ever existed is the Nike swoosh. You see that and you know exactly what it is, and you don't even have to have words next to it. And that talks about being concise with what it is that you're doing. Say what you want to say, get that information out there, but don't be too wordy about it, as I'm just kind of rambling on and on here, opposite of what I'm saying.
Yeah, there's definitely buckets, different tiers, I guess, in video. I see one mistake I see is more local brands trying to make those Nike level commercials and then just slap their logo on at the end. And that's artful. Like, it's good video. I get excited when I see high quality video ads on TV for local brands. But sometimes the mistake you can make is that you are assuming people know your brand. And so when you slap your logo on there, they might not know actually what you do, because you're not like a, $20 billion business.
Right.
Which is okay. Like, you are where you are. And, I like to make videos that work for you in the category or the tier that you're in, So, a lot of local business owners need about videos. They need testimonials. You make a commercial too, but you also want to make sure that if you're not at that like brand level awareness of someone like Nike, you want to make sure that you also clearly communicate in a commercial that, hey, I'm X and X company. I do X, Y, and Z. Here's the problems I solve. You want to make sure you get that in there. Because, everyone knows Nike makes shoes. Your feet don't hurt. You run faster. But, if you're a local shoe shop that sells shoes, you might not have that same recognition, even though you sell those brands. So you want to market yourself differently as more of a local business and the people that you want to cater to.
Is brand building, does that give you a different approach if that's what a company is trying to do? Is that a different way of putting together a video than, say, just a straight commercial type thing?
Yeah, I mean, if local business down the street contacts me, I'm probably going to offer them different services than if Nike were to contact me. Also, usually when you're making an ad at that high level, you're actually working with an agency. So there's kind of an in-between there. But more on the local scene, sometimes I work directly with clients, or they might have a marketing firm that they also work with, but that firm doesn't specialize in video, or helping get videos into places where they need to go. So they'll bring me on to execute that, and provide a service for like a small to medium sized business.
After as many times as we've said Nike, there better be a pile of shoes outside my door tomorrow. I mean, we've been.
I wonder if that will help with the SEO or not. We'll find out.
Well, that's true too. That it's
yeah,
with anywhere on social media anymore. With the way I understand it, with the exception of LinkedIn, it's no longer about how many followers you have and how much you've grown that list. It's more about content, and you can have something go viral, and you've got 10 followers, and that is just the way that the algorithm is now. So yeah, and how all of that works, I don't know. I'm guessing, and I try to do the best that I can. I'm a completely web delivered entity, but I still see a huge swing in how well one video will do over another. And I've yet to completely identify what that is, but I'm not alone in that. There's a lot of folks that struggle with trying to figure all of that out. And I'm guessing that's something that you really have to pay attention to in your line of work.
Yeah. I mean, there are a lot of different strategies that you can do. Going viral is not something I usually suggest unless you are selling like a product, and probably a low price product.
Mm-hmm.
I have local friends here who have done, they got videos that went viral, millions and millions and millions of views, like on CNN, crazy thing, reshared in all the industry platforms that are available for their industry. And they got 0 phone calls. So, going viral doesn't necessarily mean that you had success, And then, another thing I see too is people are just doing the social media grind, and they're not seeing a lot of effort put back from it. And I think a lot of times businesses could go a different route that makes videos for their website in places where all of the customers that they are interacting with are going to see it. That helps them to make a purchase, before trying to, saturate the social media networks, every single day. I don't want to call it a rat race, but sometimes it kind of is,
I'm curious though about something that I spend a lot of time doing, probably more time than I need to, is the music that you're attaching to some of these videos. And it needs to be the right music. It needs to complement. It needs to not be like over the top and be the show. And I spend a lot of time trying to find things that has the right feel for me. Is that something that is time consuming for you too, or is that just more secondary?
Yes and no. I think there's times where it really matters. But I've also posted to TikTok, for other companies, and done no music, just the original sound. And it seems like that does better. So, sometimes it just depends, linking songs that are trending, even though you don't have that song in your video at all. People use that strategy as well. But I don't know. It's time consuming finding music to license. It's also expensive. I do it for most of our videos that we do. Sometimes that can take a long time, to get that right music in there.
Yeah, I just I use a service that gives me access to however many and new tracks always coming in all of the time, but they're even starting to get a little more tighten things down, that they you can only use them on so many YouTube channels and different things like that, where before it was just wide open, and if you paid for the service and you could use it, but it's not that way anymore. It's getting a lot more difficult, and I highly recommend that if you're doing anything, and I'm not talking to you, this about the copyright issue, that you might get away with it, but it only takes one time, and they're not kidding around. It's not a small thing. You'll get hit with a $6 or $7 figure lawsuit, and you're like, this was just some little video. They're not playing, so just don't mess around with copyright stuff.
Yeah, you got to follow the law.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can definitely get in trouble. So, yeah.
Well, what are some of the more projects that you've done that you're the most proud of? If you think about, man, I really love how that turned out.
Well, actually, I'm working on a project right now for New Vision's homeless center. Mm-hmm. I'm very, very proud about how that's going, and I'm excited to get that out. But most people don't know that New Visions has a veterans center in downtown Omaha that works only with veterans, and that they're currently trying to build another one out west, I believe 84th and Blondo area. And they're already halfway funded for it, and they're looking to get more funding. So last week we shot a fundraising video for that. And then again, just a general about services, about what they do. And then also some testimonials from people who have come off the street, receive services there. Now they've moved out of there, but actually they work there, and they're giving back and kind of helping replicate what they did in their own life. So I'm really excited to show that, get that out there. That should be done here in a week or two, and I'm really proud of that work. So,
where are we going to be able to see that? Is it getting pushed out on social media? Is it just on their websites? Where's it going to be?
Yeah, I'm sure that's going to be out on social. Definitely going to be on their website. Probably going to see if they want to do some paid ad on the fundraising, but we'll see where they want to go with that. But it's going to be really cool.
Yeah, I've done some work with those folks too. That it's good work that they're doing. It's necessary work that they're doing, and it's encouraging to hear that they've got some programs in place specifically for veterans, because I know that's kind of a hot button issue with a lot of folks, that they want to make sure that those that we're taking care of our veterans. So hearing places where that's happening and you being involved with it is even better. How do folks get in touch with you, Kyle, if they just want more information? How, because that's the big part of it. You've got some great products, but there's still the business aspect of what it is that you do. So where do they go to learn more?
Yeah, you can go to www.tailslate.agency.
That's TALE, not TAIL, right?
Yes, TALE, like a story.
Correct.
So tailslate.agency. Reach out on personal social media too. Everything I do is Kyle Ranney, if you just want to see what I'm up to. Also Tail Slate on most of the social media apps as well.
Yeah, there's a ton of stuff out there that I'm sure people don't even know it was you, but it's out there. And my guess is they've seen it. And all of this being produced locally, right here in Council Bluffs. It's where your studio's at. It's where you're doing all your work from. And a lot more exciting stuff still coming in the future, I'm sure.
Absolutely.
All right, Kyle, well, thank you very much for your time today. And we look forward to seeing that New Visions video come out. Let me know when it comes out. We'll put a link to it in the show, so people will be able to see it. But appreciate your time. And no, I'm not really all that jealous, but jealous enough. I mean, your camera's a lot better than mine. So...
Well, that is a service I offer. I help people build studio spaces.
If you missed yesterday's show, we had George Ivanoff from The Best Wrestler. George is all things wrestling here in Council Bluffs and surrounding areas, and he made an exciting announcement on the show yesterday that they are opening a Best Wrestler in Lincoln, Nebraska. He said that they had a lot of students that were coming up from Lincoln just to be able to train here in Council Bluffs, and now there's a facility right in Lincoln. That is facility number 5 for George. How about that? So go and watch yesterday's show if you haven't seen it yet, and you can learn more about what's going on with that, and also everything else that's happening and the exciting things with some of his athletes as they have been competing at state wrestling meets in both Iowa and Nebraska, and also down in Kansas. So he's going to talk about all of that, or already did talk about all of that, and that was on yesterday's show. And he also lets you know the right way to get your young person involved if they have an interest and wrestling, and he would love to be able to talk to you. Also, S&B Country Kennel, they become the top spot in Southwest Iowa when you need to know your dog will receive only the best. They have boarding, daycare, grooming, self-washing, training. They even have a membership available to a dog park. That dog park, I've seen it. It's over an acre in size. Plenty of room to run around. S&B Country Kennel also has rescue dogs, so check with them about adoption possibilities. They can even help with the best in dog training. That's S&B Country Kennel. They're located just west of I-29 on Bunkie Avenue, just south of Council Bluffs. I want to say a special thank you to Kate Dermody over at the Warehouse event venue in Council Bluffs. She gave me a tour yesterday afternoon, and I was able to take in everything that's going on there. She was actually setting up for a big event that's coming up this Saturday. And I'd recommend stopping out there. If you have an event that you're wanting to find a place to go, put that on your list of places to tour. And it's a good spot. It's a large spot, plenty of parking. And looks like they can handle all of your needs there. So I would recommend paying a visit to the Warehouse. Well, we have made it to the end of another week, and it's been a very, very chilly week. I've spent as much time inside as possible, but my car just doesn't like cold weather all that much. It'll start, but it complains as I'm driving down the road. And if you heard me, sorry about all the squeaks and sounds that my suspension was making. Warm up is coming next week, and it can't get here soon enough. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. My name's Todd Studer. We'll see you back here Monday morning.